Stobi became much more important during the Roman times, from the 1st to the 3rd century. In the early 1st century AD and slightly at the end of the 1st century BC, we know that Stobi became an oppidum civium Romanorum, meaning that a Roman population was settled there, and this means that Stobi became the station for the further expansion of the Romans to the north. Later, at least 100 years probably, not 100 years, but slightly later, probably 20-30 years later, Stobi became a municipium, which is a higher rank than the oppidum civium Romanorum, but it's not a colonia because it has its own local population. The important part about Stobi being a municipium is that all the citizens here received ius italicum, which is Roman citizenship, which doesn't happen much often with old cities which were before the Rome, built and existed before the Romans. At the 100th, probably as many of the historians and archaeologists believe, at 100 years from the establishment of the municipium, the mint at Stobi was established during the time of the Emperor Vespasian, so Stobi minted its own coins. And during the Emperor Trajan, the first coin which illustrated the logo of Stobi was minted. As you can see, the logo of National Institution Stobi, and this is the coin minted at the mint in Stobi. As you can see the iconography here, there are 3 people represented. 2 of them at the sides have vessels from which the water pours out, and there is one in the middle which has like a crown on the head. But this type of crown symbolizes forts, so it symbolizes fortification on the wall. It's called corona muralis. So the figure in the middle is a personification of the city, or perhaps a representation of Tyche Fortuna, a goddess which is protector of the cities, and she's known to wear that kind of crown. On the 2 sides, the 2 persons that have the 2 figures having the vessels with water are actually personifications of the 2 rivers. So this is the ancient logo invented by the Romans here at Stobi. Now, throughout the major construction at Stobi happened throughout the 2nd century AD. Many public buildings were constructed in this period, such as the theater. You've seen the theater. It is a venue, a mass entertainment venue with the largest capacity here in Stobi. And so far, until we excavate a theater in Thessaloniki, this is the theater with the largest capacity in Roman Macedonia. It could accommodate around 7,000 people. And as you can notice, it was built by the Roman architectural norms. It is supported on walls, and it had corridors under the seating. So basically, and the outside, it had a facade with arches, basically like you visit the Colosseum, of course at a much, much smaller scale. And you go through its corridors and go to the seating area. Another building built in this period, very unique, is the building with arches, which was an elaborately decorated building, which had a large ceremonial hall, which was a 2-storied building, elaborately decorated with different kinds of marble on the wall, some of them imported from Asia Minor, and some of them imported from Thessaly and the Peloponnese, and the other marbles being local. Many statues were discovered inside, and this building was probably one of the most expensive structures that were ever built here at the site. And if you followed Blink's Facebook and Stobi's Facebook, you see that this year we had a joint project where we made the 3D reconstruction of this building. And this can be also viewed in 3D with VR goggles, or even with a card box viewer for your phone. Another building built in this period is the Temple of Isis and Serapis. You saw the building, I suppose. You visited the building. It has 2 subterranean chambers. We know it belongs to this couple of Egyptian deities because we have a statue of Isis discovered in 2012, I think it was. No, 2010. And also there were inscriptions, and there was also a statue of Serapis discovered back in the past. This one here. What you see here is just the podium of the temple, so the columns start from here, and you can imagine if you have seen the temple in the Maison Carrée or the Roman temple in Pula, this is how the temple should look like. It's not a huge temple, it has only 4 columns up the front, or maybe 2 columns with anta on the sides, but it was very, very tall, much taller than what you see now in the field. Yes, Anna? This statue is right here in the corner. You can see it later. The other ones, this one is at Stobe and it's not very big. I'm thinking this one is at Stobe too. This one is in Belgrade and these are in Belgrade too. So, besides Serapis and Isis, all the other deities from the Greco-Roman pantheon were worshipped at Stobe. So we have inscriptions and we have statues of the gods. So we know we have statues of Dionysus, of Artemis. We have inscriptions devoted to Jupiter. We have statues of Asclepius. We have statues of Hygieia. We have also a statue of Jupiter, just the head of Jupiter. So Aphrodite, of course. Aphrodite is much worshipped here, but I think it's in general in Macedonia. Now, besides paganism, in the 2nd, 3rd century, there was a Jewish community in Stobe in the early 4th century. So we know this because in the excavations of the 1930s, 1920s, they discovered an inscription saying, I, Tiberius Claudius Polycharmos, known as Achillius, give part of my house for the need of the Jewish community, for the synagogue actually. I give this part on the ground floor, so for myself I keep the upper floor. And then there is a curse that if somebody makes a damage to the synagogue or wants to change his decision, needs to pay a huge amount of money for that to the Jews. In the 1970s excavations, they revealed the plan of the synagogue under the floor level of the central basilica, which is also known as the synagogue basilica. There was another inscription discovered there of somebody named Alexander, who was the curator of the synagogue in the early 4th century. And the synagogue, of course, throughout its existence of 150 years, maybe 200 years, had its own repairs. The important part, which we'll never know the answer of, is what happened to the Jews at Stobe, of course. The answer is they might have converted to Christianity because the first Christians in Macedonia and all over the world were the Jews. But there is also the possibility they moved to somewhere else than Stobe, and their property was given to the Christian community, which built the church on top of it in the late 5th century, I suppose, and also took part of the house which we called the House of Polycharmos, where Christian mosaics were installed. This is another house next to the synagogue. It is attached to the synagogue itself at the older floor level, but it doesn't exactly mean that this was the house of Polycharmos, as Polycharmos is specific that he will keep only the upper floor for him, not the rooms to the south of the synagogue. Probably this is some kind of later addition that belongs to the successors of Polycharmos. Now, the important part for Stobe is the reform of Diocletian, when the province was divided into two and Stobe became the capital of Macedonia Secunda. So this is when Stobe received administrative importance in a way. This is how the city looked in the 4th, 5th century, because the area slightly decreased due to floods. If you can see from the original plan of the city, which was much, much bigger. And one thing to remember is that what we see here and what you visited here, it's only one part of the city, probably 1/2 of the city. The rest of it extends on the left bank of the Vardar, on the other side, which is part of the military training ground of Krivolok. So we haven't done any excavations there. The fortifications are visible. If you go to the bank of the Vardar and look at the other side, you'll see the city walls, but no digs were ever done there. Maybe one day. besides becoming the capital in the fourth century, Stobi became also a bishop seat, because Christianity, as I told you before, and Dime probably told you, was officially recognized as a religion, as a legal religion in 313, and already in 325 we have Burius, the Bishop of Stobi, visiting the Nicaea Council. From this bishop we know the names of other bishops as well. I think 6 or 7 of them are known to us. Now, an important event at the end of the 3rd century is the big earthquake that hit Stobi around 300, which damaged much of the older buildings, which afterward they were repaired, but also this kind of marks a break in the urban development of the city. And we see that after the earthquake, around 300 in the 4th century, there was some kind of new urban activity, new construction activity in the city, particularly at the middle terrace of the city, where many new buildings were built. And these buildings reached their culmination somewhere in the early 5th, I suppose, century. Some of these buildings, this is the Theodosian Palace. This is the most elaborate palace from this period. You probably only had the opportunity to see this mosaic, but on the photo here you can see that there are mosaics in all rooms and corridors around the central court. This is the house of Peristeria. You probably entered this one, and you've noticed that all of these houses have the similar design of having a central courtyard surrounded by columns and all the rooms being arranged around. This is called the peristyle type of house, and it's very common throughout the Eastern Empire. Regarding the early Christianity, we have the oldest church in the Republic of North Macedonia. It is the old Episcopal Basilica, which was built towards the end of the 4th century. Dime probably explain why these mosaics are so different, because they are donations of different people at the beginning, and this church was very, very modest compared to the pagan buildings of the period, and it was built in the shade of the theater. However, the building, of course, at a later period of time, a different building was constructed on top. Actually, a new basilica was constructed on top, which symbolized the glory of the Christian religion, and at the same time the power of the Christian religion. So this basilica kind of symbolizes the early period of the Christianity and the period when the Christianity became the dominant religion and the dominant aspect of the social and religious life of the people here at Stobi. So the other basilicas that you can see here with their motifs, this is the synagogue basilica, or the central basilica. The synagogue was found when they excavated under the floor of the nave of the basilica. This is the triclinium, or the dining room of the so-called House of Peristeria, or House of Polycharmos, also known as the House of Psalms, because we have the illustration of David's Psalm 41. The same illustration can be found in the baptistry of the Episcopal Basilica, and I think Dime told you what it means, right? I should not repeat, or should I? Okay, David's Psalm 41 is, as the deer is thirsty for springs of water, that's how my soul is thirsty for you, God. So, you see the deers, and they're about to drink from a fountain from where water comes out. The deers are symbols, or they're the metaphor of potential Christians who are about to drink from the water of life, or from the purifying water. And the water itself and the fountain itself is a symbol of Christ. So the fountain is Christ, and He's the one who is going to purify them. So this is how they will become Christians in a way, because baptizing and Eucharisty, the bread and the wine, are the two rituals for a person to become Christian. The first one is the baptizing. So this one has a baptizing message of purification from the primal sin. So the deers are basically potential Christians, or new Christians, but the peacocks, because it's a paradise bird, it's a symbol of immortality, is the symbol of all of the ones who have become Christians and the ones who have established their place in the paradise of the afterlife. Now, this is another basilica at Stobi. This is the North Basilica. So this basilica also has a baptistry. So all these basilicas, there are 3 basilicas at Stobi that have baptistry. So it's the Episcopal Basilica, the North, and the Extramuros Basilica, or the basilica outside the walls. So these three churches have baptistries, and in the past it was believed that only Episcopal churches have baptistries, but at Stobi we have an evidence of a different case where 3 basilicas have their own baptistries, and it's not surprising because most of the population of Macedonia was baptized throughout the 5th century. So it's not only for children, baptizing is not only for children, but it's mainly for adults, and that's why they constructed this big, large baptistry here with this big pool called the Piscina, where the Christians, when they were baptized, were submersed 3 times in the water.